Hey guys, it's Lindsay. I'm back with another video today, and for 2020, I feel like a lot of people say that they want to get better grades, but most aren't really sure of how to go about doing that. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to get better grades and maintain straight A's like myself. And just as a disclaimer, I want to say that this isn't like me trying to brag about saying like I have good grades, but no, I just kind of like wanted to say that to show like I'm somewhat qualified to talk about it, because like if I can do it, anyone can do it. Well, without further ado, let's get into it. So my first tip is to do your homework before it's assigned. And it might seem kind of weird to say this, but I say this because if you do the homework when it's assigned or like right after it's assigned, then the next time you have a class, you can ask better questions and you will figure out what you really don't understand while everyone else is just kind of like getting the foundation. If you've already done the homework for what's being taught, you can kind of say, hey, I don't get this. So for example, in my math class, my teacher posts our syllabus a week ahead so that we know what sections we're going over and we know what the homework will be. So I'll usually do the homework like a day ahead, or I'll do it in a lunch period before that class so that I can ask questions and figure out what I don't know. And my next tip is to figure out what works best for you, because what works for me might not work for everyone, and what works for you won't work for someone else. So you really need to figure out just how you work best and most efficiently and most productively. So can you listen to headphones or music, or will that distract you? I like to listen to this playlist while I'm studying, and I will leave it linked in the description below, because like all of the music is like not too engaging. Like you can listen to it passively and you won't be super distracted by it, but it's also nice to have it there. And you also have to figure out like strange things that can seem kind of strange, but they can have a big effect on you, or they at least have a large effect on me. And one of those is the lighting. Like if the lighting in my room is super light, I don't like to do work. So the dimmer, the better for me, but maybe it's the complete opposite for you. So you kind of just have to work around that and try out different things until you see what really works. Another thing is, when do you work best? Would it be better for you to wake up early before school and do work if you go to bed at an earlier time because you're not doing homework the night before? Or maybe you're like me and you want to do homework the night before instead, so that you can sleep in later. The last thing is location. I like to do homework in my room or at a library, so I usually just do it in my room because I'm usually at home. Maybe you want to go to like your nearest coffee shop to do your homework after school every day, or to a library, or even just a different room in your house than you're usually in. So if you're usually in your bedroom, maybe you want to do your homework in the living room or in the kitchen, but I just like to do mine in my bedroom at my desk usually. My next tip is actually a way to study. It's called the Pomodoro Method. So basically, the purpose of this method is to do as much work and be as productive as possible in the allotted amount of time, which is traditionally you spend 25 minutes working and you take a 5-minute break, and then you spend 25 minutes working and then you take a 5-minute break, and you just keep going on and on. So you can modify this to fit what you need and how long you can focus. So I'll usually do 35 minutes of studying or working, and then I'll take a 5-minute break. But if you have a shorter attention span and you can't focus as long, you want to work for 15 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. Or you want to work for 20 minutes and take a 5-minute break. So you can really move it around to adjust you and to figure out what fits you best. What I like to do while I'm doing this is I put my phone in airplane mode so that I won't get any texts. And another thing I like to do to help me with this is I like to reward myself after. So I like to have like a little snack or a treat after each little section that I do, just so I can have something to look forward to. So to say only 10 more minutes of working on this that's not very much fun, and then I get to eat this Rice Krispie treat. My next tip is to keep your work organized, because the more organized and neat it is, the less likely you are to say, oh, I don't want to do this because it's so hard to find something. Or for me personally, if something isn't pretty, I just won't want to study it. So I try to make all of my notes very pretty and colorful and organized. so that I can just like have everything how I like it, so that I'm not deterred from studying it just because of how aesthetically pleasing it is or is not. And part of this is just figuring out what you like. Like, I have a 15 pack of mild liners and I really like using these on various notes, color assigned to each subject. So maybe you want to find something like this. It doesn't even have to be very expensive school supplies, just finding something that you like and will encourage you to keep working. My next tip is to have something to look forward at the end of every day. Like, maybe it's this really good book that you like, or maybe it's watching YouTube for 30 minutes, or reading a book, or even it can be taking a nap if you want to do something earlier in the day. But just always having something that's like, if I do this one thing that isn't very interesting to me and I don't find very fun, at the end of it, I know that I'm going to be able to do this thing that I really do enjoy, and that really keeps me motivated when I'm not really feeling like studying just for the sake of studying. And for anyone that's watching this video pretty soon after I upload it, my favorite thing to do at the end of every day is watch one of my favorite YouTubers. His name is Elliot Choi, and right now he's doing daily vlogs, so that's kind of become part of my nightly routine, just to sit down and watch his videos before I go to bed. And if you want to also check him out, I will leave his YouTube in the description, and I might even leave one of his videos in the cards if I'm able to. And my final tip is to relax, because it can be hard sometimes being in high school or college because everything is about our grades pretty much and what we're doing constantly. But I like to just remember that my grades don't define me and your grades don't define you, and it's not worth stressing yourself out over a grade. It's just not worth it. Because at the end of the day, chances are in 60 years, one bad grade will not matter to you. And if you have any other suggestions or anything that you think I left out, you can just go ahead and drop those in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe and click the bell, and watch my last video and I'll put that in the cards. Bye!